Hello. Um, so I didn't upload a video yesterday because I was extremely tired. Um, and I tried to go to bed at a reasonable time and everything and still just crashed. Um, but yeah, so I still got my workout in yesterday though, which means that I got my 5 days in a row of working out. Also, if it looks like I'm talking kind of weird, I think I might have had an allergic reaction or something to something, so my lip is very swollen. So if it looks or sounds like I'm talking a bit strange, that's why I already took some extra allergy meds, so I should be okay. But I'm also noticing that my hands are really itchy, so um, and for those that don't know, I I have a lot of non life threatening allergies, but that can get kind of serious. So yeah, so every once in a while I have a bit of a flare up of something that I had an allergic reaction to that I don't know what. Um, so it's just kind of one of those things that I live with. Um, but yeah, so if you see me kind of talking weird, this whole part is all swollen. So if I'm talking kind of strange or anything like that, I apologize. Um, but yeah, so I got my 5 days in a row of working out. A little victory. So I'm very excited about that. Um, and then I was able to go up the one set of 10. Oh, excuse me. I'm still very tired. I was able to go up the one set of 10 yesterday, which means I got the 7 sets of 10, which means I'm really, really close with my reverse flies um, to getting the 10 sets of 10. So between my squats and then my reverse flies, um, yeah, so we've got the full 10 by 10 with the squats. Reverse flies, we're getting close. And then shoulder presses is just the other one to work on. Renegade rows, I think, is just going to be constantly trying to improve that until finally I can get to that 10 by 10. However, when I was talking to my brother, one of the things that he said is it might be difficult to just time wise be able to do 10 by 10 with the renegade rows. So it might be once I can get to 10, more prudent to just do the 10 and then set a timer for a minute rest. And then, once that minute is up, hit the next 10, start the timer. But yeah, so um, yeah. So that's kind of where that is. I'm feeling really good about what happened this week, and I'm feeling really good about the fact that I was able to do all 5 days, even though I didn't film all 5 days right off the jump. Um, that was really, really cool. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm itching so bad. It's so distracting. Um, so if you hear little scratching noises, it's because my hands itch so bad. I don't know. I had gotten, not that it's anybody's business, but I had gotten a really bad allergic reaction on my hands for a couple of weeks, and it got to the point where my hands were swelling up, and I feel like it was getting treated and it was doing well, but for whatever reason today, they just flared up again, and so my hands just itch really, really bad. So yeah. Uh, yeah, so 5 days in a row, which is really exciting because that's still better than last week. And with the crunches being what they were, it's that's doing. I actually did a lot better with crunches than I thought I was going to do because my core strength has kind of been garbage. Um, so I have something now to work towards with everything. I have my overall big goals of being able to, reach up to certain weights, and eventually add in other workouts and work towards certain things. but I also have like smaller individual goals for each item. Like each item, it's like, okay, let's get this one up to that 10 by 10 so that I can do 10 by 10s across the board. With the squats, I'll be doing doing a goblet squat with the 5 pound dumbbells, or with a 5 pound dumbbell next week. And then if that still seems really easy, I'll do, 10. So 5 and 5 in each hand, and then doing the squats. Um, yeah, so it's just like this week felt really good as far as progress and as far as like hitting my goals, because I think pretty much every goal that I set for myself this week I hit, um, which to be perfectly honest, I was not expecting to do that, but I've been trying really hard to set realistic goals for myself so that it's easier for me to hit them, and then I don't get as like crushed emotionally when I can't. Um, so, basically for this week, we're just trying to do better than we did last week. Obviously on Monday I hit Renegade Rows one more time. I'd like to be able to do one more set of the 3, because that's kind of where I'm at right now. If I can work up to doing 10 by 10s of the 3 and then doing more in each set, that would be good. But even if I can do like the same number of sets but do more in each set, so do like 4 in each set and do the same number of sets as I did last week, I think that would also be really good, because that's still improvement. And then if I get to the point where I can do like 10 sets of 5, then that's something for me to work towards, to do the 10 sets of 10 with those. But yeah, so Renegade Rows on Monday, goal is going to be to either have one more in each set or just do one more set in general. If I can do both, that would be like extra bonus. Oh my god. Holy crap. Sorry, my hands all of a sudden just like started itching really, really bad. Like way worse. Fuck. I'm trying so hard not to scratch. I'm just putting I'm putting my hand on my drink in the hope that the cold will help it not itch so bad. Holy cats, why? I wonder if I... Was there a different brand of gloves at work? Was there? I'm gonna have to look at the brand of gloves at work. I wonder if they swapped out brands. Because that probably is what I'm having a reaction to. Shoot. Sorry. Oh my god. You ever have something that just like itches so bad it's painful? That's where I'm at. um yeah. So having both an extra one in each set plus an extra set would be like extra hardcore bonus, but I'm not expecting to get that. Again, I want to set something that's going to be realistic. I want to set something that's going to work well for me. Um, the other part in all of this that like I haven't talked about too much up to this point, just because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to like shoot myself in the foot with it, is that for Lent this year, instead of going like vegetarian or vegan, which is what I usually do every year for Lent, I'm going paleo, because personally for me, it is much more restrictive. I am a stress eater. I tend to rely on food as like a coping mechanism. Um, and so I don't want to get like too much into like the the logic behind my brain and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to talk too much about it, but basically, um, the general idea of the paleo diet, for those that don't know, is basically you try to eat like the Paleolithic man. So, no refined sugars, no processed foods, no. There's a lot of conflict over like what does and doesn't count as paleo. Um, some places are like you can have milk, other places, some sources say you can have milk, some other sources say you can't have dairy at all, even just like straight up milk. But both seem to agree that you can't have cheese or ice cream or anything like that because it has like sugars, refined sugars, which definitely wouldn't have been around at that time, um, for like the ice cream and stuff. And then cheese and yogurt because they just wouldn't have had that. So, um, basically, no processed foods, no refined greens, no dairy outside of just like regular milk, because I do use regular milk. Sorry, I think my voice is starting to go. Um, you're just getting to see me have like all of the allergic reaction stuff on camera. And again, in case anyone is worried, none of my allergies are life threatening. I just really want to put that in so nobody worries that I'm just like sitting here having an allergic reaction with like no concern. None of my allergies are life threatening. They're just all super inconvenient. um, so, what was I just saying? Oh, yeah. So, no processed foods, no like processed grains, no refined sugars, no dairy outside of regular milk. So it's just basically a lot of like regular proteins, as in meats, and then fruits and vegetables. No like olive oil, vegetable oil, nothing like that. Um, so yeah, and it has been difficult, but in the same breath, it's been really good, because I feel like it's teaching me. It's forcing me to get creative for one, because when you're so used to relying on just like when I stress eat, let me say, I shouldn't make generalizations for other people, but when I stress eat, I get really used to relying on like certain junk foods and that sort of thing. And so maybe I don't cook as much because, or I cook a lot of the same like high fat foods, high carb foods, over and over and over again because those are my comfort foods. And I am a meal prepper, so like even regardless, I'm gonna have like the same meal multiple times a week. But I mean, like, I have a tendency to, like, I used to make big pot, like, homemade mac and cheese. So I would just make, like, a huge tub of it, and then I would eat too much of it at once. But it's like, mac and cheese is very high carb, very high fat, just by the nature of what it is. It's pasta and cheese and milk and butter. Like, it's all high fats, all carbohydrates. And so when I'm taking away that of like, oh, I can't have pasta now because I can't have refined grains and I can't have refined sugars, and then I can't have cheese because I can't have cheese, and I can't have butter because that's a form of dairy that isn't just straight milk. Um, that kind of forces me to go, well, crap, what am I gonna make now, and how am I gonna make the adjustments, because I don't necessarily want to just have like stir fried vegetables. And, kind of a toss up in the air again for paleo diet, whether or not rice is paleo. And this is just based on personal research. If somebody wants to come and say, like, oh, XYZ is paleo, XYZ isn't paleo, there seem to be a lot of conflicting ideas from, like, nutritionists and health side of, like, what technically qualifies as a paleo diet. Whether or not we're going to take into account what actually would have been eaten in the Paleolithic era. There seems to be some modern arguments about what counts as paleo now. I'm choosing not to include rice in mine. So, no rice, no bread, none of that. So basically, like, all of the things that I really, really relied on as, like, coping foods is just out the freaking window. So I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe that's why I'm so tired this week, is because my body is just adjusting so much. Because obviously, like, I started this last week with Lent, but, sometimes your body just takes a while to catch up. So I'm wondering if that's why I'm so tired, just because my body is trying to adjust so much to the change. But overall, like, so far, I'm feeling better. Like, I say better with a pause only because I don't feel as bloated, I guess. And I don't feel as, like, guilty when I do eat, because, like, the stuff that I'm eating is much lower calorie than what I normally eat, so I can eat more of it and not even come close to cracking the amount of calories that I used to consume in a day, because I did the math, and honestly, I'm kind of disgusted with myself. There were days when I was consuming, like, in excess of 4,000 calories with, like, no problem. And that wasn't every day, but, like, when I would have just, like, a really bad, like, stress episode and I would go to eat, I could very easily put away more than 4,000 calories. And then, of course, like, I would feel gross and I would feel lethargic and I would feel guilty then on top of everything else, which is never helpful for moving forward in a healthy manner, physically or emotionally. And now I haven't been keeping super close track of my calories. It's all been, like, ballpark stuff, but I think I'm sitting around, like, 1,600 calories a day, and I'm not, like, starving. Like, I actually am feeling pretty good with what I'm eating. And I'm not, like, restricting the amount that I'm eating. I'm just kind of making food and eating what I think is a serving size, like a reasonable serving size. But I'm also eating more often throughout the day because I get hungry sooner throughout the day. So I don't know how much science is behind that, or if that's just my personal experience, the adjustments that are coming. But yeah, so honestly, with that, with the change in the eating style, and obviously, like, I'm going paleo during Lent, so once Lent is over, I'll start incorporating some stuff back into my diet, but probably slowly, because I think if I just, like, slammed a bunch of, like, ice cream and cheese and bread and stuff, I'd probably ruin my digestive system. But I don't know. It's it, it's kind of forcing me to look at, like, my coping methods and my coping mechanisms, to, like, have all of that taken away. Um, which I guess was the reason why I did it in the first place, was to kind of force myself to think about things. Because, when you use a certain coping mechanism, you focus on that and you don't focus on like actually dealing with the problems. And so taking away the coping mechanisms is kind of forcing me to come face to face with things. And so I've just been, I can, I don't know how well I've been doing about like facing a lot of the like junk in my brain, but I'm working on it. Um, Hitting the goals that I've been wanting to hit has really been helping with the positivity aspect, even when I get kind of like in my head about things. Um, so yeah, yeah. I know this. Some of this is like very vague, and I apologize, but I'm still like trying to think through things and trying to sort through things, figure stuff out. Um, yeah, but overall, I would say that week 2 has gone really, really well. And I'm sorry I didn't film a video yesterday. I was just absolutely wiped out. I'm still very tired. Um, but I just wanted to make sure that I got this video filmed so that I had a video for every day I worked out, even if it wasn't on the same day I worked out. And then we'll jump back on it on Monday. And yeah, I'm taking this weekend to relax. So no workouts today or tomorrow unless I really feel like I want to jump on it early. Um, but otherwise, we're back at it again on Monday with Renegade Rose. Um, and then we'll go from there. So I'm very excited just to kind of see where this all goes. I love you guys. Stay hydrated. Take care of yourself. Bye.